I could listen to you scream pretty music to my ears. I could listen to it all day if you want me to. I could talk about my world, how you wrote about me. I could talk about your dream if you want me to. I could look into evil, see it hard just like mine. I could throw away reason if you want me to. I could walk into darkness, find a hole you crawled into. I will be the intruder if you want me to. You can whisper your Lord's prayer and pretend that it matters, but don't you wish to just listen? You can hide in the shadows and pretend I won't find you, but don't you wish to just listen? I could listen to more lies about promises you kept, where you walk on water like you said you would. I could make you my prisoner, you a dead man talking when you found the oceans like you said you would. You come back for God's mercy and pretend that He hates you, but don't you wish to just listen? You can drown in your sorrow and pretend you were helpless, but don't you wish to just listen? This is always your one life, I won't pretend that stop, but it's too late. I think it's you. I've never been afraid to face the fear, but there's no darker place. I think that you. Something grows and something lies. Something breathes and something dies. I think it's you. I think it's you. I think it's you. breath away. When the last cry is hid from you, you know exactly how I feel when your love takes your breath away. Everything I wanted is dying with you. Everything I needed is like a shadow on a baseball. Everything I promised is ending with you. Everything forgiven is a betrayal of the merciful. At the end, when Yoko forgets you, there's a moment of truth that the heartless does it tight. Take your breath away. At the end, look at my choices. This is all I can do not to stop you. I must take your breath away. Everything I wanted is dying with you. Everything I needed is like a shadow on the baseball. Everything I promised is ending with you. Everything forgiven is a betrayal of the merciful. Everything I wanted is dying with you. Everything I This isn't easy, but it's what I believe. Something is broken and twisted and pushes away. No one is listening. What have we done? All pretty empty of darkness and lonely again. Nothing is easy, no one is kind. Love is a stranger that hides in the corner of sand. So much unspoken, words left for dead. All I can hear is the screaming of someone to blame. Not even God remembers. We ran from the woes of man, from everything you are and will be. We are invisible. We are that ghost nation. When the sky came down, when the sun went up, when the night was gone, when we had God's love, when the righteous came and they cleansed our sins. Have you ever seen that with your own eyes? We live in the great unfound, where thought and ghosts do wander. We drift on, drift in sand, where horrors of a past still linger. We hide from the wood of man, from the cruelty that defines you. We are the wind that cries. We are that ghost nation. When the sky came down, when the sun went up, when the night was gone, and we had God's love, when the righteous came and they cleansed our sins. Have you ever seen God with your own eyes? We're embers in the flame. We are whispers in God's name. We're the heat that burns your skin. We're the cold that lets pain in. We're the wind that blinds your eyes. We're the shame that holds your lies. We're the nightmare when you sleep. We're the guilt that omens. When the sky came down, when the sun went dark, when the night was gone, and we heard God's love, when the righteous came and they cleansed our sins. Have you ever seen me with your own eyes? Is this how it feels? It hurts me. It hurts me. And some. Is this how you leave us? It tears me. It tears me. And some. Is this how life breaks me? Without you, without you, ransom. I can, right I can. When I hear you, I remember, and it breaks me again. When I see you, I remember, and it breaks me again. When I sleep in, I remember. So now I'm alone, now I can think for myself. And about little deals and issues, and things that I just don't understand. Like a white light that night, or a sly touch at times. But I don't think it meant anything to you. So I found out your reason for the phone calls and smiles. I said I'm lonely. Well, I should never have tried. And I missed you tonight. So it's time to leave. You see, it meant everything to me. and a cow crash wanted the wall, but I've never been quite the same. Little white lies like how I was there. meditate, and everything I dreamed would all come true for me. But now I feel the end come. My childish dreams are undone. I cry under a black sun, and every song is unsung. You will hear me when the wind sighs down. You will feel me beside you, always. shouldn't be far from home. Can you hear your broken promises? I am what you've been waiting for. Can you feel your righteous anger? It's like a poison that feeds the soul. Can you hide from saints and liars when every word is the death of me? And this is who you are. 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 Can you break your crumbling idols and push the pieces into the sea? Can I trust you to keep a secret I have loved in the face of God? And this is who you are. to a reason. And here you are, the pain in my heart, the shame on my soul. Like a sigh, the breath in the cold. You will die, and I will forget. You were the chosen. When they called me broken on you, when they called me evil on you, when they called me ruin on you, I would always find my way to you. When I beg forgiveness, then you. When I beg for mercy, then you. When I beg for nothing, then you. I will always find my way to you. called you poison, you knew. When I called you shameful, you knew. When I called you liar, you knew. I would always find my way to you. I pray, but you weren't listening, making miracles. So I beg, but you were far away, saving souls perhaps. Very small, and you have worlds to songs, no words, just whispers that wait for you to sleep. And when you dream, will come for you. When breathing your pain, we've seen such things and hide them from you, and so keep you pure. I've seen God's bleeding. I've seen walls burn. I've seen stars falling, and I've seen a dead sun rising. We live for you. We keep you safe. We keep you unloved. We die for you. Like rain we'll fall until you are gone. Just to talk with you. I would climb a tall mountain just to look at you. I give my soul to the devil if you ask me to. I would walk out of heaven just to be with you. This is absolute. This is absolution. and I worship you. Burn the prophets of reason, light the sky for you. Kill the children of Eden if you want me to. Close the dead eyes of God if they offended you. This is absolute. This is absolution. This is absolute. This is absolution. nothing to love. Have forgotten the sun, yeah. Do you fall like rain on me crying, holding along like the bitter and dying? Do you fall like dust on a ruin, empty and dead, like the land you are losing? I could listen to you scream pretty music to my ears. I could listen to it all day if you want me to. I could talk about my world, how you brought about ruin. I could talk about your greed if you want me to. I could look into evil, see a heart just like mine. I could throw away reason if you want me to. I could walk into darkness, find the hole you crawled into. I would be the
Gary, it's great to see you.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here at Stable, and I've caught some of the rehearsals. Sounds amazing. It looks amazing. How excited are you to play?
I'm excited to play. It's been a year and a half at least, maybe longer actually, since we played, the last time before pandemic, obviously. I think that's the longest period I've ever gone since I've been doing this, and not played live. So, yeah, missed it.
What have you done to keep yourself sort of checked in musically?
Well, keeping going during the pandemic was easy, and I was making a record. I was about 3/4 of the way through it, actually, the new Intruder, when the pandemic started. So I was still had plenty to do, and then I wrote a book. That took a while, a couple of months, I think, 7 weeks. Went back to the album, finished the album. Then I did all the artwork for the album because I do all that. By the time that was all done, we started doing all the videos for the album, going out into the desert and all these places and doing that. That took a while. And then the book came out, so then I was doing promo for the book, and everything just, everything just sort of tumbled into the next one. So I was really, really busy right up until about December. And then into the new year, things start coming out, the first single from the album, so I'm back into that again. So it's actually, for me, it's been, I'm meant to be the quirky one in my family. I've got Asperger's. I'm meant to be the one that's got issues, and I've just sailed through it. I'm absolutely fine, and my family around me are all just sort of falling apart a little bit as it's gone on. So I've had to try to sort that out.
I would be the intruder.
3/4 of the album was pretty much written. Was the songwriting process any different in a lockdown, or is it because it's a conceptual record?
I do kids in the morning, then I do studio, and then I make sure that I'm out the studio so that I bring the kids home again. I always want to be there when they're there, so my work hardly affects our together time. Then when they go to bed, I go back out to the studio. So that was a little bit different in pandemic because they were home all the time, so things are slightly different. Didn't go out on weekends, which we'd normally have done. So again, that was a little bit different. But it was useful for me because it meant I could spend more time on the album and not feel guilty. That I wasn't doing family stuff.
Where did it all start for you? Who was it that you heard, you saw that made you want to make music?
Well, the first thing I saw that sort of turned me on to music was when I was really tiny. I don't know, 4 or 5 years old. I saw that there's a man called Hank Marvin, a guitar player for Cliff Richard in the Shadows. I saw him on the telly when I was really little, and it wasn't the music. I was fascinated by the fact that his guitar was electric. You know, you plugged it in and it had switches and dials, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So it wasn't music that attracted me to music, it was technology, in a way, that attracted me to it. Music was kind of like a byproduct, a side effect of what I actually liked, which was the technology that made the sounds. And then later, when I got my own electric guitar when I was early teens, I think, I really wasn't that interested in learning to play it. I did, you know, basic chords and things, but I wasn't really interested in being a musician. It was noises. I liked noises. And so instead of putting it on my lap, I'd put it on a stand, connect it to some different pedals and things, you know, and then I'd hit it, I'd scrape it with something, and then twiddle. And it'd make these most amazing noises, you know, and so I would record them. But that was, in a way, that was, I think, what led me towards electronic music, because it was the first instrument that I'd found that you could manipulate sound with to a degree that you can't with anything else. But my dad bought me a Gibson Les Paul, ultimately, which is really flash, and I loved it very much. That got stolen. And then I got another one, like a Sunburst Les Paul.
Straying away from the Hank Marvin Strat then?
Yeah, I moved away from Hank Marvin. I've still got that guitar, actually. The Sunburst one that he got me when I was 15. And that's been on every record I've ever made, every tour I've ever done.
Since then, it's been decades of making music. You've recorded, what, 20 plus studio albums. I was at the Silver Clef Awards when you picked up the Icon Award there. It was a very special moment, and hearing what you had to say. And you've been recognised and will continue to be recognised for, you know, pioneering electro music and electronic music the way you have. How have you seen the music industry change and evolve since you started?
In some ways, I don't think it has, really. You know, depending on sort of what way you're looking at it, the music business finds people that can make music and then goes about selling it.
Yeah.
And it's ruthless, you know, and there is very little loyalty to the people that make it. It's essentially about money for the most part. Art seems to get in the way sometimes, you know. And I don't think that sort of ruthless element of it has changed much at all. It's got worse, if anything, you know, with the 360 deals and so on. The way you make music, on the surface of it, looks to be quite similar. You know, you still go into studio and you record and you layer up and you build up your song. But the way that you do that is totally different now. I mean, my studio now, I have one massive screen, like a little computer hidden behind it that you can't even see, a touch screen, big giant thing, and a small MIDI keyboard. That's everything. That's everything. Oh, 2 speakers and an amp. But that's all there is. The computer does everything. The controller keyboard can attach itself to any sound you could possibly think of, and, you know, an unlimited array of sounds. The screen does all your mixing and your process and everything else via the computer. And so it's the most capable studio that I've ever had, out of all the studios that I've had over the years. And yet it's the most unimpressive looking thing. You know, one screen and one small keyboard. No synthesizers, nothing. No, my guitar's outside, actually. But in that sense, you know, but I mean, that's mine, obviously. That's not all studios are like that. But using software to record now, software instruments. I can remember when, before sampling came along, we would walk around with little recorders and record things, and then put them on a tape back in the room, and have these massive long tapes going around the room. We'd be holding pencils up and thimbles to try to keep tension on it, so it would make a groove as it went through. Great fun. I used to love all that. And then they invent samplers, which does all that for you. And then they sort out, pitch changing when you slow things down. And the technology was just advancing so rapidly. There was a point, I used to have a big pile of manuals beside the bed, and that to just try to keep up with all of the new stuff that's coming, and it was just flooding in all the time. So,
do you think that was out of necessity, or did it really grip you? Because I've heard you being quoted as saying that you were, in the early days you weren't like a synthesizer geek. You weren't really into it. But has that changed out of choice, or have you just felt like, I've got to go with this because I'm going to be, producing from home?
I thought I ought to know.
Yeah.
I thought it was my job to know the ins and outs of everything that was coming along. But I had no sex life, obviously, but a pile of manuals beside the bed. I'm just really good at tunes. I don't need to know all of the latest gear and how every single thing works. I just don't. I'm not a great player. I'm a very average player at best of anything. I'm not a particularly good singer, but I got my own sound, and I can do my own thing. I can play well enough to write songs, and that's all I need, really. And I can get them up to a really good level, but not a supreme level, just a pretty good level. And then I send them to Aid Fenton, who must still be reading manuals every night because he knows everything about everything. And he does all the real clever techie stuff. He then sort of works his magic on them and turns my fairly crude demos into these much more sort of professional, sophisticated kind of pieces of music.
How do you go about choosing the musicians you work with? How is it, relationships down the years, or how's that come to be?
There isn't anyone in the band that I auditioned. No, none of them. The people that are in it are really good players. I trust their opinion. So if at any point one of them leaves, then I ask around, who do you know that's a good player? And I trust their opinion. So the audition as such usually involves them coming to my house and we hang out for the afternoon. And if I like them, then they're in. The most difficult thing when you're touring is finding people that you can get on with for months and months at a time, stuck in the bus. Yeah. If you take for granted that they can play because they all said they can play, and I trust their opinions. Yeah. So the most important thing is that we get on. So everyone that's in the band now never ever did an audition for me. They just come and hang out for a bit. And that's why we all get on. We don't ever argue, ever. If anyone makes a mistake, I don't care. I know you didn't mean it. I make more than them anyway. I just want it to be fun. I want it to be an enjoyable thing. I want all of them to enjoy every moment of it. And it's a commitment. They're coming away from their families. They're coming away from their children. I'm lucky in that my wife comes with me, but that they're not able to do that. Well, we have somebody looking after our kids, and then my kids can come out sometimes. So, I have the luxury of that. They don't. So it's really important that they're paid well, and that they have a really, really good time. I don't want any tensions, don't want any friction. I want it to feel like a party that just rolls along, and that's how I see touring, really.
Of course, you've also had family involved in your music as well, because your daughter sings with you, right?
Yeah,
Persia?
well, yeah. We're two now, actually.
Yeah.
On the last album, my middle daughter, Persia, she sang on one song called My Name Is Ruin, and was in a video for it, and was brilliant. And then she come and started doing gigs, festivals, she was amazing. Yeah, it's so amazing. I love the fact that she was really frightened and nervous, and yet just did it. Just sort of powered through that and just went on. Was amazing, brilliant. A huge credit. But she wants to, she's got her own eye on a music career in the future. She's been signed to Select Models actually, so she's got that going as well. She's done acting, she's just done a job doing voiceovers for some new computer game. She's sorted. Absolutely sorted. But she's on the new album as well quite a lot.
Oh, cool. I was very privileged to be in that small group of people that was at the Old Grey Whistle test.
Oh, right, really?
Was it 30 years? I think it was 30 years, the Old Grey Whistle test, but it was 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And it was an amazing performance, and of course Persia sang that day as well. But one thing I'll never forget is just how loud it was, because Wildwood Kin, I think, had already played, Robert Vincent, so you got a bit of folk, and Joan Armatrading was there. And when you kicked in, it was just like, we all just went, whoa. It was just like, it hit us. That is important to you, isn't it? The volume.
The volume?
I mean, the sheer sound you put out when you play.
Yeah, it is. I mean, my partly because I'm deaf probably, but it's the only way I can hear it.
Yeah.
But I do, yeah. I mean, there's a natural excitement comes from volume. Somebody once said to me, we were doing a mix, and I was having it really loud, and this producer that I was with then was moaning at me. Said, "Oh, you can't have it that loud. There's no clarity." And I'm going, "Yeah, but it's really exciting, isn't it?" He said, "Yeah, but Barry Manilow was sounding exciting at that level." I said, "All right, get your point." I've been to see a number of people I really wanted to see. And you're at the gig, and you can quite easily just chat to the person next door, and not even loudly. That's rubbish.
That is rubbish. Yeah.
A gig should overwhelm you. You should just be. It should be an assault, a physical assault on your body. I went to see Korn once. Did you see them?
Yeah.
They make me seem quiet.
Can you think of the loudest gig you've ever been to that wasn't yours?
Yeah, Korn.
It was it?
Yeah. I was scared. Properly scared. I thought it was going to hurt me.
Got some fan questions as well. We've been sent some questions in from fans. I'm going to jump straight into those.
Sure.
Here's the first one. After all these years in the music industry, what are you most proud of as a recording artist? That's from Brenda in Scotland.
The thing I'm most proud of is still being here, actually. It's really hard. All the number one stuff at the beginning, you sort of think that I'd be saying that, but I don't mean to be flash at all, but it seemed easy. It just fell at my feet. There was no great sacrifice, no great effort. I went to a studio, found a synthesizer, made an album there and then, which did all right. Made another one within a few months. That one went to number one. That's not because I was clever. I was just really lucky. But there was no struggle, so you didn't feel the weight of satisfaction, of accomplishment. It just came. So I didn't feel it the way I should have done. Which I regret. But now, the last album got to number 2. That meant the world to me. I cried like a baby when they said.
Really?
Probably cried. Oh, how old was I then? Oh, 59. Yeah. Cried like a baby. Absolutely. There was 40 years or so of struggling and setbacks, and everything that the first success wasn't, the next one was 1,000 times more.
You do seem to have hit every level. How did you deal with those setbacks and the adversity you faced? Like you publicly said, how difficult it got, which is great because now you're not in that place. But how did you pull yourself out of those moments?
Well, the initial success was it was so sudden. You're absolutely unknown today, and tomorrow I did Whistle Test. The day after that I did Top of the Pops. The day after that everyone knows who you are. Your whole life changes within a few days, and it's amazing on the one hand, and absolutely overwhelming on the other.
Yeah.
And it's mad, properly mad. You know, the things that come at you, I can't tell you. And it's an onslaught of weirdness, and some of it's amazing, it really is, but there is so much that isn't, and you find yourself having to navigate carefully through it, but we're sort of with everybody watching, you know, and you're trying to avoid the bad bits, but you don't really know what they are yet.
Yeah.
And you're trying to sort of really make more of the good bits, so that some of those get a bit freaky. Oh, didn't mean it to be that good. And you come back again. There's just, it's enormous, absolutely enormous. And I thought it was ruining me. I didn't like it, actually, overall. And so that was 79, and by the end of 81, I knew that I needed to get out of it.
Yeah.
If I was going to stay a decent human being and not become a drug addict or a drunk or any of those other things, but just be a nice person, I had to get out of it. You know, I had to try to find a way of grasping what had happened, understanding what had happened, and controlling it more. It was absolutely madly out of control to begin with. And so that's what I did. I announced I was going to retire, which is a really sensible thing to do. But what I did wrong was announcing it. I should have just done it. I should have just quietly backed away, you know, grown up a little bit, you know, figured out what the goods and the bads were, and just come back into it at some point with a lot more maturity and a lot more understanding of what's good and what's bad and how it all works, really. But I didn't. I was going to make a great big thing. Oh, I'm retiring, and made a real mess of things. And I upset everybody. Fans got really angry, and record company and promoters and agents and everyone that's been there helping you. You know, it was as if I just, you know, stuck my fingers up at them, and I didn't mean it like that. I was thinking about me, and I need to get out of this, you know, because this is going to ruin me. So that's how I handled the first bit, sort of questionable. And then after that, it just dived. I spent the next 10 years probably. Every year was worse than the one before. It got horrible. So by 1992, I had no money, no record company. In fact, I was massively in debt and I had no money, no record company, no agent, nothing. And they were trying to repossess my house. So I had a sofa in my house that was all collapsed, and I had bits of wood under it so it didn't fall through. I used to try to pretend that I was eccentric, not that I was totally broke and had run out of money, because everyone still knows who you are. So that was a really, really, really bad bit. And then I met Gemma in '92 when it was at its worst, and through sort of great patience and understanding, because I wasn't the nicest of people back then, despite wanting to be. We talked a lot about the music and why it was going wrong and what the mistakes were, and and I thought I was always bothered by the fact that I wasn't a good player and I wasn't a good singer, and so I thought that the albums would be better by bringing in other musicians that were better than me and bringing in singers that were better than me, and I thought that would make them better. And I fiercely believed that at the time, even though things are going from bad to worse. And Gemma's argument was that what you're actually doing is you're taking out the thing that people liked. People, you might not have a great voice, but people like it. You might not be a great guitar player, but people like the way you play. And she said, and what you've done is taken out the very thing that people got into you for in the first place. And it took me a while to agree to that or accept that, because you have to have a bit of an ego to think, well, that's probably true. And I really didn't. I thought I was the problem. Anyway, so got over that and realised what she was saying was probably true, and started to come back into it again. but in a very, very different way. I really discovered my love for it, to be honest. I'd not liked making records for a long time. It'd all been about just trying to save the career. And I did an album called Sacrifice. That's the first one I did after I met Gemma. Much heavier, much darker, much more interesting than anything I'd done in a few years before. And I really liked it. I really liked the process, really liked making it. I did everything myself the way I used to before. And that's pretty much the path I've been on right up to now, to today. You know, I just stayed. I got a thing about music now. When it was going badly, I started to listen to advice a lot. Because I didn't trust my own judgment, you know, because everything I was doing was going wrong anyway, so what do I know? But listening to advice is the worst thing that you can do, really. You know, you lose yourself a little bit. You lose that thing that you know, your own interest and your own passions and your own desire for how you look and what you want to sing about and sound, or the sounds that you're working on. You know, that has to be yours. You know, arrogantly, tightly yours. And I lost all that. And the music really suffered, and it was awful. Anyway, so I got all that back again, thanks to Gemma, and started off on this much heavier path. But I was so bothered about what I'd been like before, you know, writing songs for strategic reasons. You know, this will sound good on the radio, that'll keep the A&R men happy, you know, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I had such a problem with that I promised myself that if I ever found myself in the future working on a song in a studio, and if I ever said, you know, oh, that sounds good on the radio, I would erase it. I can never go back to that way of thinking about music. You know, you must make the music that you love first, before anything else, before any other consideration. That must be exactly what you want it to be, for no other reason than it's just a lovely piece of music or what you want it to be. When it's done, you can get as strategic as you like. You know, I'll work as hard as anyone. You know, do 1,000 interviews in the course of an album coming out. You know, whatever. I've signed 5,000 CDs so far. Got more to do. You know, I'm quite happy to go out there and absolutely work my nuts off for it, because I'm proud of the album that I've made. You know, and that album wasn't tainted by any other thoughts at all. There was no strategy involved at all. And that's the way I want to stay for however long I've got left.
This is from Francesca in Cleveland, and she says, as a theatrical costume designer myself, I've always greatly admired your design aesthetic and how it evolved over your career. You've spoken at length about the origins of your stage persona, and you managed to constantly evade the trap of monotony that so many artists blessed with lengthy careers seem to fall victim to. You stayed true to your vision, and whilst producing creative and fresh looks, but where do you derive your current inspiration from?
Well, the album Intruder is meant to be the voice of the planet. If the earth could speak, if it could articulate the way it feels about what's happening now and has been for some time, what would it say? And essentially it sees us as an infestation, as a virus. You know, I generally believe that we are a mistake. I think nature made a mistake with us, I really do. You know, I think we made us too curious, too ingenious, too greedy, too selfish. I said before, we gave us opposable thumbs, which means tools, and that means machinery, and that's a catastrophe waiting to happen. So I wanted to find something that would make me look like a virus. It's not obvious looking at the album, but you know, it's a grey, the red, you know, it's just a bumbly old attempt at trying to find something that looks sort of menacing and yet almost arrogant at the same time. The idea for the lines, I don't know where that came from, but you know, in my little mind, it represented a virus for some reason. So that's where it came from. I wish I was more intellectual I wish I could give you all these deep thoughts as to where these ideas come from and how they evolve, but I really can't. They just come.
Paul from Weymouth in Dorset, he asks, if you look at the Gary Numan now and the Gary Numan in 1979 to 80, how would you compare yourself? I guess you touched on that a little bit.
What, but to look at or as a person? Did he...
No, I think he means as a person, I would say.
I'm far... As a person these days, I'm so settled now compared to then. I was just a ball of anxiety then. Terrible. I don't have a lot of confidence. Never have. My confidence is fragile at best. Always seems to be sort of crumbling somewhat at the edges, and I'm working hard to just try to hang on to the bit that's left all the time. So that's difficult in a way when you work in this business where confidence is everything, really. So I think I've become less worried about my fragile confidence because I've learned that it's still always there. In that it very rarely goes completely, and you can talk to yourself and shape it back again. It's most difficult when I'm in a studio, funny enough. That fear of running out of ideas, ideas not being good enough anymore. And I think in any long career, you're only as good as your next album. You should only be as good as your next album. If you want a long career, you should earn it. It shouldn't be given to you because you wrote fucking Cars in 40 odd years ago. That sucks, doesn't it? You shouldn't live on past glories. You should try to earn longevity. It shouldn't be given to you. And I feel the weight of that quite heavily when I'm in the studio. So each album is actually slightly more stressful than the one before. The next one will be worse again, probably. I liken it to, you go and stand at the foot of a mountain and you've got to climb it. And there you are, you're looking up and it's quite steep and it's really tall and it seems a really daunting thing to do. But at some point you've got to put your first step out there and you start. That's how I feel about making albums. But each album, it gets a bit steeper, and a bit taller. And so the journey to get to the top is going to be that much longer and more stressful. And part of it is worrying about coming up with the ideas and being able to maintain that level, for decades. The other part is the confidence. It's particularly difficult in the studio. That crumbling happens more quickly. And I've been in a situation before where I didn't control it at all, and it got away from me really badly, and it just went downward spiral, as Trent would say. It was awful, and I couldn't get myself out of it, and everything that I did sounded rubbish. I erased every single song that I wrote for over 2 years, everything, because nothing sounded good enough. Now, it's possible, of course, that they were that bad, but it's more likely that they probably wasn't, that you just can't hear it anymore. You get so down on yourself, your confidence is completely gone. And you're sort of lost in a way, and it's difficult to overcome that. And that then haunts you for everything you do in the future. That fear, that feeling that's coming back, that's what you're fighting against all the time. So I do find making records really, really stressful, but I really love it. That's a contradiction of it. I really love it. Those moments when you come up with something that you're really happy with, they're worth their weight in gold if you could weigh them. But they really are. If I do something I'm really happy with, the first thing I do is get Gemma. If she's out, I'll call her up. You've got to come back. She's brilliant. I'm really happy with it. If I'm lucky, it might take her an hour to get back from somewhere. If I'm lucky, I still like it by the time she gets there. But it's pretty common to like something in the morning, not be too sure about it by lunchtime, and don't like it at all by the afternoon. So, that's another battle you're fighting all the time.
Simon in Whitney. He says, out of the different but equally disturbing views for this planet envisaged by Savage and Intruder, really, what's next? Have you thought about that? Have you thought about what comes next?
I have thought about that, actually. I'm not sure yet. I'm still thinking about it, but in the course of talking about Intruder, I initially, when I first started talking about it, when I first wrote it, the idea that the Earth was fighting back was very likely to me. But I was thinking that COVID was the first of many. You know, there would be ever more refined viruses, and it would it would overcome our defenses, and it would be faster, and it would just overwhelm us, and eventually we would be cold, either down to a level we could do minimal damage or got rid of completely, which is probably the best thing as far as the planet's concerned. Yeah. But then it occurred to me that it might not be the first. We might have been at war with the planet for hundreds of years, you know, maybe since the Industrial Revolution. Who knows? You know? So I found that interesting. So what I was thinking of doing was maybe the next one, writing an album about this silent war that we've been having and trying to find points, you know, where we didn't recognise we was at war, but we were. And now we're beginning to see that we actually have been having battles over time. You know, whenever the Earth identified us as a problem. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not yet. But
It's brilliant. I love that though. It's like pre-conceptual.
Yeah.
It's like what we don't know, but it's already happened. Gary, that was amazing. Thanks so much for chatting.
My pleasure.
Really looking forward to the show, and yeah, thanks for being here. It's great.
My pleasure.